Here we go, problem 3-35. Give the equation of each circle below in graphing form. So letter A says a circle with radius of 12 centered at the point -2, 13. Let's recap the general form of a circle here first. So a circle should fit this form here: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, the whole quantity squared, equals r squared. Remember now, this is really important that hk is the center of the circle. That means that you are taking the opposite value of k. Some of you look at the k and you don't want to switch it just because of our other parent functions. But this case here, k is being subtracted from y, so you have to think about the opposite of k when you're looking at the equation. And then remember that r is going to be our radius. So back to A, we know our radius is 12, and our center point is -2, 13. Well, let's just plug them into the equation here. We're going to say x minus -2, which would be like saying x plus 2 squared, plus we have y minus 13 in the parentheses, and then we're going to square that, and then that's going to equal our radius squared, so that's going to equal 12 squared, which is 144. It's pretty easy there. Let's look at letter B. A circle with center at -1, -4, and a radius of 1. So we know right now r is 1, center is -1, -4. Start out the same way, x minus h, so x minus -1. So that's like saying x plus 1 squared. And then we're going to add to that y minus k, so y minus -4, which is like y plus 4. We're squaring that, and that should equal our radius squared, which is like saying 1 squared. So that'd be 1. So there's your answer for letter B. Letter C here is a little different. What it's asking us to do here is they're giving us this equation of a circle, and they want us to convert it here so that it looks like this form. So they want us to complete the square for both x and y. So first thing, let's go ahead, let's copy down the equation they gave us. We have x squared plus y squared. Then we have minus 6x plus 16y. And then plus 57 equals 0. To get started with this one here, let's take it and let's think about, we have to get our x terms, so we have a perfect square trinomial that will factor into this form. Same thing with the y's. My first step that I do here is I take it and I rearrange the terms. So we're going to do x squared. I'm going to do minus 6x. I'm going to try to color code them for you here just so that you can keep track of everything. So we're going to have plus y squared, and then we've got plus 16y, and then I'm going to add 57 on the end here. So in order to make this a perfect square trinomial, we're going to have to think about adding something in. Same thing with our y's, we're going to have to add something in. So you can do this a couple different ways. You could split up your 57 into what you need, or you could take it and just get rid of 57. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of that c term. So right now, we're going to have x squared minus 6x. I'm going to put plus blank. And then I've got plus my y squared plus 16y plus blank, because I'm going to complete the square there. And this should end up equaling negative 57. And when you think about it, I'm going to add a blank here and I'm going to add a blank here. So I'm going to have to add two things to this side. So whatever I add in here, I also have to add over here. So now when we think about completing the square, what number will we have to have here? I know some of us like to draw out the generic rectangle. I'll do that for the first one here. Now that we don't have any terms in the back on this side, we're just looking at saying, all right, I've got an x squared. I've got negative 6x, which means I'd have a negative 3x here and a negative 3x here, which is basically going to be x minus 3 times x minus 3. If we can put the right number in up here, and what number would that be? Well, negative 3 times negative 3 is going to be plus 9. So that's the number we're going to have to add in up here is plus 9, because right now we're at 0, right? So we're going to have to add a 9 here. We've got to keep our equation balanced. I'm going to add a 9 to the other side. Same thing with the blue expression here. You know, if we put our y's in here and then we split our 16y in half, put 8 here and 8 here, we know that we would end up with 64 in the box. So if we take half of 16 and square it, we'll get 64. We'd have to add 64 over here too. So if you don't understand what I just did, do this. Go back to this and do it the same way you did it before. Now that I have these as trinomials, I can factor them. Let's do that. We're going to have x squared minus 6x plus 9. Remember, it would be like x minus 3 squared. And then we've got our middle one here, which would end up being y plus 8 squared. I just factored it. And then on the other side here, we're going to have negative 57 plus 9 plus 64. So after we combine all three of those, 64 minus 57 is 7, plus 9 would be, I think, 16. Now we've got the equation of our circle. X minus 3 squared plus y plus 8 squared equals 16. Our center is going to be the point 3, negative 8. And our radius is going to equal 4. That is your answer right here for part C. Hopefully that didn't take too long for you there and that you understood what was going on. If you have questions, please make sure you ask your teacher. This is problem 3-35. Thanks for watching.